Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I'm crafting with this really adorable die set from Cat Scrappiness. This is part of the first half of the Valentine's release. So in this first half we have the standalone dies of this release, and later this month we'll have the next half, which will have some stamps, some pattern papers, and so be on the lookout for that as well. This is the layered doily die set, and there are two dies, one that cuts out a pretty cool scalloped edge circle, and the second die is the one that I've been kind of working with here. So I've cut that twice, once out of a pink and once out of red. And it does cut this ring of hearts so that you can layer that on top of the scallop circle. One thing to note is that you can layer these in any way you want. So there's you can kind of offset the layers to stagger that scalloped border. But if you do want to layer it up so that it is matched 100%, you will need to kind of rotate the ring of hearts a bit in order to find where it lines up, because the scalloped circle, that border, that scallop border, it's not identical all the way around. It's not uniform, which I think adds to the sort of natural look of these, because if you look at the hearts, they are a bit thinner in some areas and wider in other areas, so it's a little bit stylized. And so as a result, the scallop that the top of the hearts creates isn't exactly uniform. So all you need to do is just kind of rotate it around along with the solid scalloped circle edge until it matches up. And I've already done that in advance, and I gave myself a pencil mark on the back of both layers just so that I can quickly identify it when I go to actually put everything together. And today I'm actually making a shaker card. So the first step of creating my shaker was to cut out a backing piece out of acetate. Now, you could actually use the other die that's in this set to cut your acetate. So that would work too, and you would have a perfect edge because they will line up perfectly. The borders will line up perfectly. But if you don't want to do that, or I know sometimes I have a hard time die cutting through acetate, then you can just do what I've done, where I just placed my die cut on top of my piece of acetate, and I just did a rough pen mark all the way around. And that way I can just do kind of a loose cut inside my pen marking. And it doesn't have to be perfect, so it's no big deal if you don't get that exactly right along the borders. And from that second layer that I cut out of pink, I took the hearts that fall out of the centers of these hearts and I inlaid them back in. The nice thing is that all of the hearts, they are identical. So to do the inlaying, if you want to do, this die cut inlaying, it's all going to be, it's going to be really easy because all of the hearts are interchangeable. You can fit them into any of the openings. And I've got here, I'm trying to use up all of my foam on a roll, and I keep on discovering more that's in my stash. If you've watched my channel before, you know that I prefer foam sheets, and then I just cut them down to the width that I need at the moment. For me, that's just easier to store, easier to work with, more versatile, and also more economical. But as a result, I'm trying to use up all of the other foam that I have. And so this one's a little bit wide. That's why I'm trimming it down. And I find it easiest to take the foam off a roll and actually put it onto a paper liner. So this would be sometimes I save my return address label sheets after I've used up all the labels. I'll save that sheet because that has a really nice release liner as well. And I'll use those as sort of, temporary mats for inky techniques. I'll use it for things like this, where I can take a strip off of the roll, put it sticky side down onto the liner sheet, do what I need to do with it. So in this case, cut it, and then still be able to peel off that foam. So keep those. If you use address labels, those are fantastic because they're nice wide sheets. If you use the wide 5-inch rolls of double-sided adhesive, I save those strips as well. I've started to buy adhesive sheets, double-sided adhesives by the sheet as well. Those are fantastic too. So save all of that because they do come in handy. And what I'll do is just peel off the liner on the other side of the foam and then fill this with some shaker bits. So I've got a bit of a variety that I want to mix and create my own custom mix. So starting off here, I think this is the bridal sequin mix, and then I've got some glitter sequins as well that I'm gonna throw in. The glitter and the more shiny foil I think is a nice contrast, even though it's all silver. And then I want it to drop in some of the this darker sequin fill as well, because there are some really dark browns in the pattern paper. And these papers are actually from the Possum Girl paper pad. So really, really fun. Even though, this is a doily, it has lots of hearts, it's part of the Valentine's Day release. You don't have to strictly see it as being just useful for Valentine's Day cards. I think it's just fun and sweet in general, and you can use it all year long because it is just a very nice shape. And you can use, if you're not making a shaker and you're assembling this flat, it's a really great kind of a topper, like a background piece for just putting a focal image or even just stamping a sentiment in the center. So I like it for that reason because it's a nice size. This is a USA 2 size card, and you'll see when I put the shaker on, it takes up a really nice amount of the card. So you don't need too much more on this card to really finish it up. And so I've the way I like to make my shaker units is I do like to close it off completely. So whether that means it's a second layer of acetate on the back, or in this case, I've used pattern paper to close off the back of my shaker. And that way I have a shaker that is just an element, and it's for me easier to get this positioned on my card when it's a standalone element. And I've really started to actually use this aspect of my We Are Memory Keepers, the Works tool. I don't know that I'm necessarily using it the correct or prescribed way, but this is the bow maker. And it comes with these plastic pegs and these different peg locations, which determine how large of a bow you want to make. The DMC metallic floss that I'm using, it's really, really, it's become my favorite. I have Kim Creates to thank for turning me on to this product, and actually it's available at Spellbinders now, which I'm super excited for. They have 2 4-piece sets, and I picked up the holiday one because I had most of the other colors from the other set. And it's really, really nice floss because it drapes beautifully. It's really got a nice metallic shine, and it's very thin and delicate. But then if you do what I've done, where I've just looped it multiple times in a figure 8 on that bow maker, and then just kind of wrapped it around a couple of times in the center to secure the bow in the center. It does help to kind of make the bow feel a little bit more substantial, because the threading is really, really delicate and thin, which I love. And so really I'm super excited to have more colors. They make a ton of colors. I think Kim has most of, if not all of them. But I have a lot of the basics, and now I have some nice ones for the holidays, like in the reds and greens and whatnot. So I'm gonna attach my bow, and to attach it, I just used a little sticky dot. I think it's one of the tiny ones. I think it's 3/8 of an inch, maybe even smaller than that. I can't remember. And so I'm just figuring out how to compose my card now that I have all of these individual elements to play with. And I left the tail on the bow kind of long so that it can just drape down the card, but I am going to secure it so that it doesn't snag or yank on something and then have the bow come off completely. So I'm securing it under my shaker unit. And this card is just going to be a fun, pet-themed encouragement card. I love this sentiment. It's be positive. So it could be a really nice sort of Valentine's Day card, or a card for somebody who at the moment may not have a partner, maybe somebody who loves their fur babies like I do. So I think it's just great. You could use it for Valentine's Day, but I think it's great for just in general. It's just a nice general encouragement card. And then I'm going to use some of the enamel dots. These are available at the Cat Scrappiness store, and I'll leave links to everything in the description box below if you want to check out the new release or check out any of the products that I use on a regular basis. Those are always going to be part of all of my videos, but I'll leave the new release products at the very top so it's easy for you to find. And here is a final look at my shaker card. So I think I could have filled the shaker a little bit more than I did. This is the part that I struggle with shaker cards, is knowing how much to really fill, because too much and you don't see the pattern paper, too little and there's just not enough action for me. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking, commenting, and sharing. And if you subscribe to my channel, thank you so much. I appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so and ringing that notification bell so you get notified whenever I post new videos to my channel. Thanks again. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.